Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Lauren J, and for today's video we're going to be doing the second part of my decluttering of my eyeshadow palettes. I'm very excited as this is gonna be where I get rid of most of my eyeshadow palettes as I'm looking at them right now. And yeah, so if you're into that, then stick around, and if you're into seeing more of my videos, then please subscribe to my channel and let's get started. So for the first half of my palettes was in a separate video. I'm going by brand, alphabetical order, A through Z. So right now we're in M, so we're gonna go M to Z. And for A through L, you can check it out in the first part. So right now we're in through M, and I did not realize how many palettes I had. M to question mark, because that's what I have the last palette listed as, because I don't know what like brand to list it as. So that's kind of what I have it as. So for the first palette is by Makeup and Obsession. It's called Be in Love With. It's like this kind of more neutrally palette. I think I'm gonna keep this one. I've used it quite a bit and I kind of want to see if I can use it a bit more. The mattes are really good in here. They're really blendable. It's more of a pinky nude, and I gotta say, besides some of my ColourPop palettes, I don't have quite a bit of these, so I'm gonna keep it for that. And the shimmers are actually quite nice as well, so I'm gonna be keeping this palette. So this is going into the keep pile. My first palette is a keep. Woo! Alright, the next brand is Morphe. I only have two palettes by Morphe. So the first one is a Morphe Jaclyn Hill one. It's one of her mini ones. I have the Dark Magic one. So this is more of the green one. I'm going to have to declutter this. I do not use this palette and I find the shadows really hard to blend. So I'm going to be getting rid of this one. And yeah, this one's going to be going into the declutter pile. That's kind of exciting. My first palette down. Okay, next palette is the Morphe 24, it's a big one, 24G Grand Glam. I loved this palette. It's so pretty. I think I'm gonna have to keep it. Here I am telling myself all the reasons why I should be like trying to get rid of stuff, but I think I'm gonna keep this one. I don't have any like big palettes. This is like my only big palette that I own, so I think I'm gonna keep this one, and I'm gonna try to get some more use out of it, because I really used to like dive into this palette. It's a keep. So little cut in happening right now. I'm actually editing, and I just said that I was gonna keep the 24G Grand Glam and just gave like all the reasons why. After thinking about it, it is the next day after filming that video. After thinking about it, I am not going to keep it. It is very old. I was like, I'm gonna use it and stuff, but after looking at it some more, it is old. They do not even make that palette anymore. It is quite up there in age, so I'm going to be decluttering it after some thought, even though I gave like all these reasons why I'm gonna keep it and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, dabble with color and, you know, really get in there. So no, I'm not going to keep it. So that's gonna boost my number up, so whatever number that actually is gonna be at the end. So yeah, I'm actually decluttering that one. All right, next up, I can already tell you I will not be getting rid of any of the palettes from this brand, Natasha Denona, because I love these palettes, and I have two of the minis, and I have two of the medium-sized ones, and I have one of the larger ones, and I will not be getting rid of any of them. I'm just gonna show them to you. So I have the mini Lila one. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh. The purples and stuff in here. Oh man. And then that little neutral one where you can make some little extra looks with it. You know, I just love that. And then I also have the mini Glam one. So this is more neutral and stuff, and I really like this one. It makes me want, I think, isn't there a big one of this one? I feel like makes me want the big one. So yeah, I really like this one as well, this mini one. Next up, oh my gosh, is the bronze eyeshadow palette. It's so dirty. I love this one. These bronze shades in here, they're so pretty. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love it. And it's just been recently added to my collection, so I'm not going to get rid of it, and I love it so much. I love Natasha Denona shades and how easy they are to use. And this one, I have discovered the shimmers, they do have more fallout than I was expecting, as I don't experience that with some of my other ones, but they are more like glittery on the eyes. So I'm okay with that because I really love that shimmery eye look, so I'll take it. Next up, another one of my favorites is the Sunrise. This was my first Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette, and I just love this look. I actually pretend that I can create sunrise eyeshadow looks with this. Like with these purples and these yellows, these reds. Oh, I love it. I love this palette. It's so pretty. Just that snapshot. So good. Next up is the Trio Chrome palette. I love this eyeshadow palette. I love it so much. These like rows of colors and stuff. I love this. I love this. It was my first like big eyeshadow purchase. Like it honestly, because the big ones are kind of expensive. They are very expensive, and I just did it on a whim. Like she came out with this and I was like, I gotta get it. And I convinced myself, and because they're like over $100, and I was like, I can do this. I can do that. I did it, and I do not regret it. I love it so much. I use it all the time. So I will not be getting rid of any of the Natasha Denona palettes, as they are very, very lovely. Next up is the brand Ofra. So I have two palettes by Ofra. I've been recently getting into their eyeshadow palettes, and I can just say right now I will not be decluttering their eyeshadow palettes. So I have the Ofra palette that she did, the eyeshadow palette that they did with Francesca Tolat. I quite like this palette. The shades are easy to blend and stuff, and I really like the shimmer in the middle. I really like how easy the shades are to use, so I won't be getting rid of this one. And then I also have the Secret Garden eyeshadow palette, and I quite like this one as it comes with a giant highlighter in the middle and a blush and a bronzer or contour if you want to use it, or you can just use it as eyeshadow. And then it comes with these beautiful shades, and I really like how they come with that in their eyeshadows and stuff. Like you could buy palettes like that, and I love Ofra highlighters. They're so good. So I really like these eyeshadow palettes as they are very creamy to use, and I will not be decluttering these as they are fairly new to my collection, and I'm very excited to use them more and get like more into the Ofra style. Next up is the brand Revolution. It's like Makeup Revolution London. I have the palette Precious Stone Ruby. This one is really pretty, but I'm gonna have to declutter it because I don't use it at all. I just don't find myself gravitating towards it or anything, and I just don't see myself using it ever. I don't know. I just don't find myself like reaching for it or anything, so it just kind of sits, and I would rather have somebody like use it, so I'm just gonna be passing it on. Next up is the brand Smashbox. I only have one palette by Smashbox, and it's one of their little minis. It's the Covershot Desert Eyeshadow palette, and it's just these little mini eyeshadows, and I quite like this like arrangement of eyeshadows and the colors and stuff, so I will not be decluttering this. And I really like the blendability and stuff of these eyeshadows and how creamy and stuff the shimmers are, and I really like this. And I like how small it is too, because I could use, like, if you were to travel somewhere, which we're not right now, but if I were to travel somewhere, then I could take this like with me easy, and it's like good for like neutral looks and stuff. Or if I wanted like a little bit of green or like the copper and stuff in my look, then I could do that too. So I like this palette a lot. I will not be decluttering this palette. I've only decluttered 2 eyeshadow palettes. Oh my gosh, this is so rough. I was like, oh yeah, I'm decluttering so many eyeshadow palettes this time. Oh my goodness. 2. I've done 2 so far. All right, next up is Tarte. For Tarte, I have, this is their Rainbow of the Sea Volume 2 eyeshadow palette. I will be decluttering this one as it is very old. This was one of my, I don't want to say one of my first eyeshadow palettes, but it technically was. It was like one of my first eyeshadow palettes, and it is quite old. So I will be getting rid of this one and decluttering it. So that makes 3 eyeshadow palettes. Next up is this box. If you have been shopping from Tarte for a while, you know, like around the holidays they come out with these like boxes, and like it's just like eyeshadows. Here, I'll open it up, and you can get like mascaras and like eyeliners and stuff in there, and there's bronzer and blush and highlighter, and it's this whole thing. This is old, like I've had this since my sophomore year of high school. Oh, I didn't close it the right way. And I used to take, there's this like orangey shade. Oh, I used to take this orangey shade and I would smear it on my lids, and that's how I would do my makeup. Did I wear mascara? I don't know. I don't know if I wore mascara. Maybe sometimes I did, but I would like just put it on my lids and I was like, that's makeup, no brushes. So this is really old and I'm going to be getting rid of this because it's so old and I do not use it at all. And I've had it for so long and it takes up like space because it's like a box. It's a box. And I'm getting rid of it because it's so old. Like the Rainforest of the Sea eyeshadow palette I just showed, like these two were like some of my first eyeshadow palette that like I was given by my mom when I was first getting into makeup in high school, and I still have them because they're sentimental. But I think it's time for them to like declutter them because they just sit there and I know I'm not going to use them again. It's been too long. They're not usable anymore. Yeah, the eyeshadow has like a film over it, so you know it's been time for quite a while, so it's they're both going in the declutter. So yeah, I'll be decluttering both of these eyeshadow palettes, so that makes 4 palettes, and I'm pretty sure I decluttered 5 in my last video. I'm pretty sure, so it's either 8 or 9 now, which is pretty good. It's pretty good, especially this box. Pretty good. Okay, next up is the brand Too Faced. And I like the brand Too Faced. I like their products. There was some controversy and stuff that was happening with how they were treating people and stuff and how they were handling things, so that was quite interesting. So I haven't bought anything from them in quite a while. I'll tell you what the most recent product I got from them was out of my eyeshadow palettes, because that was one of the most recent things. But I also have some really old things from them. So this is old, like when this first came out, old, like it's broken. The thing's broken. This is Declutter. Oh, it still smells good. This is Declutter. Because it's so old. It's so old. Like, it's like there's something like broken on the inside of it, and I just can't. I don't use it at all. It's just sitting there because I also got this in high school and like junior year, and I used it so much, and I just know I have to declutter it because there is nothing. It is so oh, like the little hinges and stuff are broken. Oh man, I can't believe I still have this. This is like a good 4 years old. Oh man. Yeah, it's time to go. Time for this buddy to go, but it still smells good. That's nice. So I have 5 palettes. This next one is also a declutter. It's the Bon Bon palette. I do not use this palette. This palette is also really old. I used the heck out of this palette. Oh my goodness. Because it was like that pinky neutral too. But I just don't reach for it anymore. Like I just don't feel the need to anymore. So it's gotta go. And it's so old. I wonder, 2015. 2015. 2015. It is 2021. I need to stop. I need to go through my stuff. Like, I just tried to open a liquid lipstick today. I didn't even throw it away. I just put it back in my drawer. I need to go through those. It was gross. Anyways, yeah, this is a declutter. This is old. You're supposed to keep this for a year. Who keeps their eyeshadows for only a year? Nobody. What? That's crazy. I am a firm believer in keeping them until they don't really look good anymore, or until they start messing with your eyes, you know, or until they're really like you hit pan on a few of them and then you're like, okay, now it's time. So this next one is the most recent one that I got from them. It's when they did the collaboration with Erica Jane, but I really like this palette. I thought it broke for a second. I really like this palette. It's like, I'm not getting rid of this. It's a keep. I really like this. I got the highlighter that goes with it. Yeah, it's a limited edition. No way am I getting rid of this. I love Erica Jane. Oh, she's so good. Yeah, I'm keeping this Pretty Mess palette. It's going in the keep pile. Yeah, I really like the shades in here too. They're like more neutral shades, and I know I keep on saying like, oh, I don't have any palettes that have that. I do have palettes that have that, obviously, and keeping them. And you know, who can't have more neutral palettes that are pinky toned and stuff? So that's going in the keep pile. My next one, oh my gosh, is the Too Faced I Want Candy collab. This is also heckin' old, high school age. I used the heck out of this palette. Oh my gosh. But this eyeshadow palette, ooh, it smells good. I don't know. Do I keep this? They don't make this one anymore either. Ooh, it doesn't have, I don't reach for it anymore. I'm gonna have to declutter this one. Am I going to declutter this one? Am I going to declutter this eyeshadow palette? Am I going to declutter this eyeshadow palette? Yes. I don't use it. I've had it since high school. I used it a lot in high school. I'm going to declutter this eyeshadow palette. Yes, it's old. It's really old. My next one, oh my god, is my most favorite. If they came out with this eyeshadow palette again, I would buy it. The next one. Oh my gosh, I'm getting rid of 7 eyeshadow palettes so far. I'm so in shock with myself. 7. Okay. Oh man. This is like my favorite Too Faced eyeshadow palette that they've ever come out with. Like, forget the chocolate eyeshadow palettes. Forget everything about Too Faced. Forget everything. This freaking rainbow Life's a Festival palette. This eyeshadow palette, oh my god. I freaking love this eyeshadow palette. I love it so much. Oh my gosh. I wore this every day in high school. Every day. Like, I know I said like, oh, I use my other eyeshadow palettes a lot. No, this one. I totally forgot about this. I use this one every day. I didn't even go to festivals. I was in high school. I didn't even go to festivals. I was in high school, but every day I pretended I was going to one because I wore this eyeshadow palette and I felt like bomb. Gosh, these eyeshadows, oh, they're so old. But I swear, if they made this palette again, I would buy it. And I would use it because I loved this eyeshadow palette so much. Oh my gosh. It really took me places in my heart and I will miss it. It's a definite declutter. This is what really awoke my love for makeup. This is what really awakened my love for makeup. I'm pretty sure that's the right word. I will miss it dearly. Goodbye, Too Faced, Life's a Festival, Peace, Love, and Unicorns eyeshadow palette. Next up is the brand Urban Decay. I have quite a bit of Urban Decay eyeshadow palettes. There will be some decluttering with this one, so kind of exciting. So the first one that I'm going to be showing is the Elements. I don't know if they still make this eyeshadow palette. This is like my replacement Too Faced Festival palette, and you'll see why. It's like the same thing. But a different brand. I'm keeping it, obviously. When I just say it's a replacement, I'm keeping it because the shades in here are quite magnificent and I really like what it gives me. And it gives me that dark brown shade that I want, that I said I wanted in the Too Faced one. It gives me that in this palette. And I really like the shimmers in here and stuff. They're real nice, real smooth. I'm keeping this palette. Next up is the Urban Decay with Kristen Leanne eyeshadow palette. So for the Urban Decay Kristen Leanne palette, I think I'm gonna keep it. It's cute. I like it. It's just all matte. She came out with like another one that was like all shimmers, I think. They definitely don't make it anymore. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it. This is just one of the ones where I really like the browns in here and stuff, and I really like the white. I don't care much for the pink. I really like the purple in there though. And so it's fun to like pull from this, and then I have like the Super Shock shadows, or you know, and like do looks with that. So that's what I usually do whenever I use looks with this eyeshadow palette, so I like to do that with this. So I'm gonna keep this eyeshadow palette, and I guess this is the Daydream eyeshadow palette. I didn't know that's what it was called, but yeah, it's cute. I like Urban Decay eyeshadows. They're super easy and blendable. I'm gonna keep this one. Next up is the Urban Decay Naked. This is not like the first one, like the first edition they did. This is like they redid it because I don't have like the very first one. That one was before me. I'm keeping this. It's quite good. I love it a lot. This is like my favorite neutral eyeshadow palette, like neutral brown eyeshadow palette. I love it so much. It's so good. Yeah, I'm keeping it. This is, if you want to try Urban Decay eyeshadow palettes, I highly recommend that you try like one of their Naked eyeshadow palettes. They're very good. I like this one a lot because I'm really into like the brown eyeshadows. So this is a definite keep. There will be declutter. Next up is the Urban Decay On the Run mini eyeshadow palette. This, I think I'm going to declutter this one. I don't use it. I'm not a big fan of the style. The shimmers don't excite me. And since I'm keeping the Kristen Leanne one, I don't need the mattes. And the mattes are small, so I don't really need this. So I'm going to be getting, it's Bailout On the Run palette. Yeah, no, I don't need this eyeshadow palette. It's like small and cute, but the colors aren't really it for me. So I'm going to be getting rid of this one. We have 9 eyeshadow palettes now. So many eyeshadow palettes. Oh my gosh, that is so many eyeshadow palettes. Wow. Okay, so this next Urban Decay palette is a declutter. This is the Beauty with an Edge palette. I don't even think they make this anymore. This is just like all the shimmers, and I don't use it ever. Like I used to when it was first given to me, when I first got it, but I just don't reach for it anymore now that I have like other Urban Decay palettes like with mattes and stuff, and I can create full looks. So I just don't find myself reaching for this anymore, and it's gotten quite old, so the impact isn't there anymore, you know? Like I like my shimmers at full power, and this just is kind of like pew. So I need something a little bit more than this. 10 eyeshadow palettes. Who am I? Oh my gosh. Did not realize. Okay, next up is the Urban Decay Ultimate Basics. So I think this is supposed to be like all of the mattes from all of their naked eyeshadow palettes. I think. It does not say. And I think I'm going to declutter this, simply because I just don't reach for it. Like I have my mattes and stuff that I use, and I just don't find myself gravitating towards these selection of mattes. So I'm going to get rid of it. Next up is the Urban Decay Troublemaker palette. So this one, I'm pretty sure was like a holiday one. I think it was, because of these reds and greens in here. I actually quite like this palette, but I don't reach for it ever because it's just not my style. And I find myself gravitating more towards the other Urban Decay palettes that I own, and not towards this like smaller one where there aren't as many, I don't know how to describe it. It just doesn't pull me in as much. Yeah, so I think I'm going to declutter this one. Yes, I'm going to declutter this one, the Urban Decay Troublemaker palette. That is 12 eyeshadows now. I'm so excited. We're almost done. We're almost done. Next up is Violet Voss. I only have 3 Violet Voss eyeshadow palettes. So my first one is the Fruit Sorbet eyeshadow palette. I think I'm going to declutter this one simply because I don't really use it except for that like skin colored shade in there, that like peachy shade. That was when I reached for the most to like set my lids when I would have eyeshadow primer on them. So I think I'm going to declutter this one as I don't use it. And so that makes 13 eyeshadow palettes. That's so exciting. I'm very, wow. The next one is just a 6-color eyeshadow palette. It just looks like this. It's like a satin little thing. I actually really like this. I'm going to keep it. It's like pressed pigments and eyeshadows, and it has its 5 mattes and 1 shimmer. The shimmer is very beautiful. It's literally called Champagne, and that's what it looks like. It's like just a champagne color, and it goes very well with all of the colors in the palette, and so I'm going to keep it. The next eyeshadow palette is the Berry Burst eyeshadow palette, and I think I'm going to keep this one as well. The shades are really easy to use, and they're very blendable, and I like how it's neutral and there's the berry colors, so you can kind of mix them, or you can just do neutral looks and then add that little piece of like pinkish purple shimmer if you want, or you could just do like berry only on your eye, which I also enjoy. So I'm going to be keeping this eyeshadow palette. So my last palette is, I had it under a question mark because I did not know like what brand. It's BoxyCharm, and like it literally says Hello Charmer. And this is a keep. The reason it's a keep is for, you can see it, that red glitter shade. That's literally the only reason, one of the only reasons why I'm keeping it is for that red glitter shade. Oh my goodness. It is so pretty, like on the lid. I love it so much. It's kind of like crunchy. It's a crunchy glitter, so it's not my favorite. But I imagine, and I don't have glitter glue, but I imagine if I did, it would work a lot better. But there's no like fallout or anything that I've noticed. But when I do wear it, it's so pretty because it's like that reddish gold like shift with the glitter, and I love it. So I'm keeping this palette for that eyeshadow. It is so pretty. I love it. And also the mattes are really easy to use, so that's a plus. Oh my goodness. I am getting rid of 13 eyeshadow palettes. In this video, 13 eyeshadow palettes. That is quite a lot to me. And they're in a little pile on the floor. They're in like a little pile on the floor next to me. And I am very shocked with myself that I kept them that long. I did not know that I still had some of them. Oh man, that is so wild to me that I just keep, because that's why I honestly have as much makeup as I do. I'm like a little mini hoarder. yeah, I just keep all the makeup that I get, and I try so hard to get rid of like when it's like noticeably like gets bad. Like it's so much easier to tell when it's not eyeshadow when stuff is going bad, or it's harder to tell when it's like eyeshadows or like other palettes, like face palettes or highlighters and stuff, or blush or bronzer and stuff. Like, so it's rough to get rid of stuff. I'm so happy with myself that I was able to get rid of at least that many eyeshadow palettes. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video and seeing me struggle with getting rid of that many. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button down below, and I will see you guys for my next video. But let me know if you guys want to see more like declutter type videos, because I do have like my lip stuff that I want to declutter, as that stuff is pretty old. Yeah, so hit the like button if you liked watching this attempt at decluttering my eyeshadow palettes, and I will see you guys for my next video. Have a good day. Bye.